Andrew Jagger, Marketing Manager for Walters Gardens. Today we're going to be looking at Perennial Salvia. Perennial Salvia, excellent plant for sun. They like heat. They tend to do very well in those dry locations in your garden, deer rabbit resistant, and they tend to be pretty easy to cut back and get them to rebloom compared to other perennials. Most gardeners are familiar with two types of Perennial Salvia. So there are your Salvia nemorosas and then your pratensis types. So Salvia nemorosas, these ones tend to be a little bit shorter than your pratensis, although you can get some pretty short pratensis. They have smaller flowers, but the rebloom on a nemorosa far surpasses that of a pratensis type. So I'm currently sitting in the middle of our Salvia Profusion series. So these are all nemorosas. They are all mid-size for Salvia nemorosas, somewhere between 16 and 20 inches tall. Nice, well-rounded, ball-shaped habits for the most part on this series. Pretty cookie-cutter consistency when you go from plant to plant. The nice thing about these specific salvias is the sheer number of breaks that they have. This series, hands down, our best reblooming perennial salvia. If you want something that you're going to be able to trim and then keep having it provide more and more color for your garden, this is where you're going to want to start. First, we have Violet Profusion. If you're familiar with other Salvia nemorosas, you've probably heard of May Night or Caradonna. These are two pretty classic varieties. They've been around in the trade for a long time. You've probably seen them before, even if you haven't even realized it. Violet Profusion is going to be shorter than both of them. The main difference is the sheer number of breaks you'll get on Violet Profusion compared to May Night. Where May Night, flowers are a little bit gappier, tends to get more spaced out. Color definitely falls off the later you get into the season. Violet Profusion, it'll keep going, holds that tidy, nice little habit. Definitely one that you'd want to consider if you were looking at a purple salvia for your landscape. Then we have Salvia White Profusion. This is a pure white. The nice thing about it is a self-cleaning plant, so all of the old flowers fall to the ground, helping to preserve a nice clean look to the plant as you get later into the season. Then we have the variety that started it all. This is Perfect Profusion. This is the original one that the collection was built around. So this one, we saw it in our trials year after year. We were like, wow, how is that salvia still blooming? It is going so much longer than everything else. So this is where we went when we said, what is the new standard have to be for reblooming salvia? It's been on the market now for a few years, has nice sky blue flowers, and again, this is a plant, you keep trimming it back, it'll keep giving you blooms. We see 3-4 flushes a year out of this plant, and not just a smattering of flowers, we see a real full plant come back each time we trim it back. So this is one, if you're looking for that sky blue color, this is one that you definitely have to consider, Salvia Perfect Profusion. Finally, we have Salvia Pink Profusion. This has been the most popular perennial salvia in the Proven Winners program since it was introduced. So popular, in fact, it has already been named the 2024 Proven Winners National Perennial of the Year. The rebloom on this, as incredible as the rest of the series. It has a nice dark pink flower held on that mauve calyx, which just helps to extend the color, extend the impact of the plant. So complementing our Profusion series, our Salvia nemorosas, we have Color Spires, which has more of that pratensis background. These ones a little bit taller, bigger flowers, super showy displays in late spring, early summer. The variety I am near right now is probably one of our most popular varieties out of the Color Spires series. It's a recent introduction. It's called Back to the Fuchsia. So it has that electric, bright fuchsia pink flower, and that's really what we're looking for in the Color Spires, is a lot of color. And Back to the Fuchsia certainly delivers on that promise. This plant also excellent breaking on the flower stems, so you get a nice second and third wave of blooms after the initial first spike runs its course. All right, I am now hanging out by another one of the Color Spires. So this one also has a lot of that pratensis in the background. This is Salvia Azure Snow. Azure for that azure blue purple color to the hood of the flower, and then snow for that white lip. So this will be a bicolor in appearance. You can see the two different colors prominently displayed on the plant. It is the only bicolor that we currently have in the collection, and I would say it's certainly holding its own in that category. Again, excellent breaking, very robust clump of foliage to follow the flowers. You can see it's a little bit more past, but a little bit difficult to tell because it also has that trademark self-cleaning stem, a trait that we prize a lot. Helps to keep the plant looking very clean as it moves through the bloom period. Last but certainly not least, we have Salvia Indiglo Girl. So this has a nice indigo colored flower, absolutely electric color, very vibrant in the landscape. Again, pratensis type, so a little bit more height, really big flowers, great breaking, very sturdy, has a nice clump of foliage that will be left behind once the flowers are over, so great garden performance from that aspect as well. Definitely one to keep your eye out for if you come across it in the garden center. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you want to know more about our perennial salvia, you can find culture information and other tips on our website, waltersgardens.com, and to view a complete availability of what we have to sell. Until next time.